That way, I'm going to take this, the recording, and just again for the people that didn't show, um, and then I'll put it on YouTube later tonight or early tomorrow morning. Okay, so that I know you guys will want to watch it many times, like when you're trying to go to sleep or that kind of thing. Um, but yeah, I do post them. Um, if you're wanted by the FBI or something, don't want me to post it, then don't show a picture of yourself, change your name, whatever. La 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 la. What else? All the stuff I usually talk about when I'm at ICC, I don't have to do. Well, the washrooms are down here. If you want coffee or whatever, you can go over there, and I don't have to talk about that stuff anymore. As far as what to call me or that, Doug is fine. If you have some cultures, Professor Peterson, Mr. Peterson, Doug, I it doesn't matter to me. I'm not that anal about it. La 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 la. So we're gonna learn a little bit about Python this semester. This is a beginning class, though. Okay. Now I know some of you guys from other classes. So some of you have already programmed. Some of you probably haven't. It doesn't matter. You'll see because of the rules. Uh, Ben's like a stalker right now. He's like walking and uh, so my intention is to start at the beginning. If you've had me in Java, it's very similar to that format, and we'll discuss what I allow and what I won't allow here in a few minutes. We'll meet here every Thursday at 4. And just so you know, one of my office hours starts at 3. So I'll be on. All my office hours are also at the same Zoom address. And I haven't even changed it from last semester. So it's the same. If you had me before, same address. This class, like I was saying though, with the what mode it is, there is an attendance part. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and take attendance every week. Okay, but I'll more than likely use the assignments you turn in as one form of attendance. Uh, again, um, just but if I see that you're never here or that, I think I switched it to 10%. I think a few of you took the first quiz over Blackboard already, and I sent you an email. You should have got an email from me if you did, because then you got one run, and we'll talk more about that too. What else? Okay, so again, this is the main scenario here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And you will be able to see me or see what I'm looking at right now. All right, so once you get, anybody not know how to get to Blackboard? No, everybody's in. So if you went to Blackboard and you have more than one class, so you should see them down the side here. Ours, of course, is Computer Science 145. So you would click on that, and you should end up right here. Yours will look something like mine. Okay. And it just has some information. Why does it say, oh, I never changed it? I should change that, huh? Let's see. I'll just put here Zoom. That looks good. And the rest of it, I think, still pertains. So that's just where you come to when you get into Blackboard. Student access services. If you have any type of handicap, you should contact Terry Ingalls here, and they can facilitate closed captioning, whatever. sign language, all that stuff for you. Okay. Note takers, that kind of thing. COVID, if you have to go to ICC for some reason, these are the basic rules. You have to get a health check, da 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 da, or tell them that you don't have a temperature, I guess. But since this class is totally online, you shouldn't have a problem. Uh, Best way to get a hold of me is email, okay, um, or through my office hours. And again, they're listed here. There's 6 of them currently that I'm available to you from. So I am in the Zoom meeting. And again, here's the address for the Zoom meeting here. All right. So that's the main contacts to get a hold of me. This I'm required to post. So there are open labs at ICC still. One is over at East Peoria campus in the TC building, TC 210. And those are the hours for it. The other one's at the Peoria campus. And that H stands for Hickory. Once you get over to North University there and you get in the ICC area, it'll have the names of trees and the H stands for Hickory. Okay. This is just the official like details for the class when they post it, when it runs, what time it's on, what kind of grading system, how many credits are you going to get, that kind of thing, what it costs, and then a short description of the class. Most of this stuff, again, is just housekeeping type of things that I have to do for the college to make us all legal and everything. So, federal guideline on what a credit hour is. Basically, when this comes into play most of the time is if somebody drops the class and what the college will do, I have to provide a day that you dropped or what I feel you dropped. Well, my scenario is the day I give them is the last date that you turned in homework that was passing because of this sentence right here or this part of a sentence that that you had a learning outcome that was verified by evidence of achievement. So it's not just showing up or whatever. You actually have to have had done something. Now, the scenario on how much time are you supposed to put into this class is described here. Normally, we would be in class 2 lectures a week and 2 lab hours a week, okay, for a total of 4 hours. So then, according to the government, you're supposed to have 2 hours for every hour you're in class. So if you're supposed to be here 4, then if you add 8 on to that, that's 12 hours a week. You shouldn't need 12 hours a week. Again, it's going to, plus the 2 that you owe me because this is a hybrid. So that would be 12 to 14 hours a week. I am not, that's probably not going to be true. I would think the average student, as when we get going, these first programs are pretty easy and it won't take you that long. But if you study and read and that, again, it all depends on the speed that you read, that kind of stuff. Not can you type, that kind of stuff too. But if I was you, I'd start out maybe with an hour and a half to 2 hours a day based on this class, or do some one day and then skip a day, do some the next day. Don't try and slam it all into Thursday afternoon before the class. I tell students, it's like, if I was teaching you Spanish, which way would you think you would learn more? You come in, you have Spanish class on Thursday nights at 4. So you decide you're going to study Spanish from noon until 4 on Thursday afternoons? Or would it be better if you spent an hour or two a day studying it to be successful? And I would argue that the person that'd be more successful would be the one that does a little bit every day. And basically, that's the same thing here. This is the official syllabus that the state file or the school files with the state. Okay. And so you can read over that. Basically, again, it's all the same stuff I was telling you, or that we've been talking about, what we're going to cover and that kind of thing. Any questions? Somebody say we're still here so I can tell if you're still here.
I think we got it.
All right. All right. So then we come to this. So you should have a textbook. It should look like this. I don't care where you got it. I don't care if it's in electronic format. I don't care, you know, doesn't matter to me. But it should be this one. At least that's the one we're using. Oh, excuse me. The software is these, one of these. Okay. Now, if you install Python on your computer, you're already going to have a text editor called IDLE, IDLE. It comes with Python. You don't need any other IDE text editor other than that for the class. That being said, I'm going to use Thorny. Okay. It's a very light IDE. Okay. IDEs are just, they allow you to program the language and it shows errors if you're typing, stuff like that. You can use a plain text editor if you really wanted to. It just wouldn't show the, the mistakes. It would allow you to type anything you wanted. Where all these that I'm going to show you would show you the mistakes. You can run your program right from the IDE. PyCharm is another one you can use. Okay, it's a pretty popular one. You got the free open source. And then you've got Anaconda, which comes with Spider and Jupyter. Just when you submit your programs, they should just be plain, the abbreviation at the end should be just .py, P-Y. Okay. So whatever the name is, rectangle.py, lowercase letters. So that's the text. Okay. And the software you need. Course information, all this belongs to me. Due dates for you guys are going to be Thursdays. So your new lesson shows up on Thursday at midnight or at 01 in the morning, and then is due the following Thursday after class at whatever, midnight, 11:59. So early on, shouldn't be a problem for you at all. Programs are small. Yeah. So Thursday to Thursday, that should give you 8 days and 2 class periods and 6 or 7 office hours to get help if you're struggling. If you email me, make sure you put that you're in my Python class, or I won't know what you're talking about. Okay. Put that in the heading. There is a small amount of help available. You can go to academic support. They have a live chat, and they also have online tutoring. I think you get 3 hours a semester or something. And again, I don't know how good they are at Python. Um, so that being said, what else do you do? Okay. Google, YouTube. Yep. That's what I would do. Just make sure if you're using Google and YouTube that you still follow our conventions. Okay. And that, I mean, is the person doing those things might not follow our naming conventions. So you still have to do that. You can also contact somebody else in the class. I don't have a problem with that, but you can't ask them to give you their program. Okay. That thing. Here's my list of my office hours as they sit right now again. All right, the next one, knowledge leveling. All knowledge leveling means is you can't use anything in your program that I have not introduced to the class. I don't care if you're a world-class Python programmer. Until we cover it in class, you can't use it. So if I tell you to print your name out 10 times, okay, but we haven't covered how to do loops yet or repetition, you can't use it. You'd have to physically type it or have it print 10 times. So you would have to do it in a sequential method versus using repetition. Now, again, I know that's more work and it's not always the easiest thing to do, but there's a method to my madness. Because, like I said before, there could be some people in here who have never programmed before, and this is just more of a leveling of the everything. So you can read over that. Contact expectations. Basically, I'm going to get back to you as quick as I can. If you um, email me at 9 o'clock at night, you're probably not going to get an answer till the next morning sometime. Weekends can be a little, iffy, but the college says within 24 hours. I'm probably down more like under, if it's during the day, during the week, it's probably under 4 hours. Weekends might stretch to 12, especially again, if you email me after. So this class is over just before 6. And let's say you email me at 6:30 or 6 after we have class, chances are you're not going to get an answer till tomorrow morning sometime. Because I don't stay up at night and look at my email. During the day, I'm pretty good at it. Course grading system, basically 93 to 100 is an A, 85, da, 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 da. And basically it's all points. Your programs are going to be usually worth, I think in this class, they're 10 points each. And it's just basically a numbers game. The more points, the better your grade. At the end, you get a 92.5. What grade do you think you're going to get? If it averages out to 92.5.
A.
Yeah, you're going to get an A. How about a 92.4?
B.
Not an A.
No, you're going to get the B. And you're going to come to me and go, Doug, you know, that's 1/10 of um, 100 because it's a percent. 1/10 of a percent. And you know what I'm going to say? If you worked 1/10 of 1% harder, you would have got that A. Because I got to have a cutoff somewhere. And again, I'm telling you up front, it's all about the points. It's a points game. Okay. When you're getting your grades, if you're getting 9s and 10s, you're doing okay. If you're getting 7 and 8, you might want to talk to me a little bit. Uh, If you're getting anything below that, you definitely need to talk to me. If I give you a 1, that means usually that I want you to redo it. That either you didn't understand what I wanted, or something just isn't kosher, or you did the wrong problem for some reason. Look at this, I spelled give in. That's good. Oh, come on. So yeah, I'm going to give you a chance to do it over again. So, and that's up to you again. If you don't want to redo it, then you can get the grade I'll give you. But that's that. Okay, withdrawals, that spelled out. We already looked at, it's under details over here. No withdrawal dates or something. All right here. So if you're interested in that scenario, hopefully not. I don't give incompletes at all unless you're in a coma or something. Okay. Personal death, I guess, would be okay. Nuclear explosions, if you're in the ground zero area, the blast zone. Why are these grades higher than other courses? Because you're my student. And it's really a subjective thing on my part. I could lower those and then just grade harder. I don't know. Is the percent shown in Blackboard correct? Don't pay any attention. There's only two things that you should pay attention to in Blackboard in the grader. So if I look at, let's see if I got my grades here somewhere. So you have a page that looks something like this. I don't know if yours is there, but you can see over here, there's 10. So each of these programs is worth 10% or 10 points. So one thing you can check on, did you get a grade here? Did you get a grade? And if you did get a grade, was it a grade that you liked? Okay. If it isn't, you need to get a hold of me. Sometimes there'll be other stuff up here, like you're running to, don't pay any attention to any of that. None of these grades currently are weighted or anything like that. Okay. So don't pay any attention to them. Just, did I get a grade? And what was that grade compared to the amount of points that were available? And the last one down here, why did you give me a grade? Like I said earlier, I don't give you grades, you earn them. And basically, it's the point game. Okay. You do the work, you turn them in, you get the grades. If you don't get a grade, then and you turned it in, you need to contact me. Don't fret, don't lose sleep, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You just get a hold of me and we'll figure it out. The people in here that have had me before, I think they'll tell you I'm pretty um, honest. I don't know. That ain't the right word. Pretty reasonable. That's probably a better thing to say about what I'll allow you to do. Again, as far I explained this once before, if for some reason you were to drop or had to drop, and they ask me, you know, when did you stop attending? The date will be the last grade you got that was an acceptable grade. Uh, if you missed too much of the class, I guess you could be removed administratively. I would hope I would talk to you before then. Non-attenders, if you miss more than, like, this class only meets 16 times. If you miss more than two of those, I'd probably like to talk to you because that's like an eighth of the class right there. 10% class. I downgraded that from a 15 to a 10 today. So if you had already taken the quiz on Blackboard, It's just a short quiz in the first lesson that asks you questions about what we're covering tonight. Uh, this stuff here, again, I'm pretty flexible on it. I just don't want to have to be going back. Hey, Doug, can you go grade that? I just turned in a lesson from week 2 and it's week 15 now. Well, there should be some type of penalty for that. I'm going to give you credit. I don't think that uh, very seldom am I going to enforce this. Okay. And it's totally up to me. Um, I just want you to learn the program. Okay. So if you have some stuff you need to make up, whatever, um, I'm good with it. You just let me, whenever you make something up, if it isn't in on time or you get a redo, in other words, you get a number one, uh, you need to email me as soon as possible saying, hey, Doug, I turned that in, you need to go grade it. Okay. And if I still don't do it, then you email me again. Hopefully I won't be that way, but sometimes emails get goofy. And again, it's for you. You're the one getting the points. Discussion boards, that's a total different thing. If you don't file that on time, then, and you're not going to have that many of those. I think you have one, in fact, and that's the first, in lesson one, you need a biography to introduce yourself. Lack of attendance, participation, again, that hurts that grade. I don't give incompletes for the course. You'll either get a grade or you'll withdraw from the course or drop it. Okay. I also don't buy into the dog ate it. My computer crashed. It disappeared. Was stolen in my car. No, you should be putting it up on the cloud anyway. You have a OneDrive, okay, already. If you go to your mail right here and click here, I think it's right there anyway. OneDrive right there. So all students have a OneDrive already set up for you to store your stuff. Um, you can store it on a thumb drive, on your home computer, whatever. All I'm saying is I would keep multiple copies. Okay, again, we're dependent on the internet, so just make sure you're good with that data storage. And this is wrong. It shouldn't say Google Drive edit. It should say OneDrive account. I have so many accounts, I don't even know where my stuff is half the time. That's the big problem. Blackboard gradebook, we already explained that. What should you know? Everything. Anything we cover in this class from tonight on, you should know at the end of the semester. It's not like I'm teaching you geography and tonight we're going to study Illinois. And then next week we're going to take a quiz on Illinois and then we're going to move on to Wisconsin so you can forget everything you knew about Illinois. Everything we do is to build your toolbox for future events and hopefully even on past this class if you stick with the Python thing. Student handbook, as students at ICC and as faculty at ICC, we agree to have integrity. We agree to be responsible. We're part of a community of learners. We're lifelong learners, and we're going to strive for excellence. Again, there is an academic misconduct part of that, and that's if, in other words, I catch you cheating or whatever. The ones I really hate is when people turn in programs and they don't even take the time to change the person's name up at the top or whatever. Okay. Submission, we're going to look at that. It's nothing more than putting your PY file into a file exchange I call it your, so it's right up here. Let's see here. Everybody should have an e-portfolio. And like here, I'll go into Joe's. So I click on Joe's. It says file exchange. I go in here and then I go add a file. And then I might say it is my rectangle program, for example. Don't use names like, first of all, Joe doesn't have to put his name in here. Why? Because I'm in Joe's um, e-portfolio or file exchange. The only two people that can be in here are Joe and I, hopefully. Okay. So he doesn't need to put his name in here. I don't want you also, you don't put in lesson one, exercise 5. No, you put in the name of the program that you wrote and what it is. So then I can browse my computer. And in this case here, let's see, desktop. I got to have something in here I can stick in here real quick. Lesson one, I don't want that one. Here, ICCID, that might be okay. Let's text, yeah, that'll be fine. So here it says what we're going to put in, but yours will be the PI file right here. But it is a plain text file, so it's going to be very small. You hit submit, and there it is. Okay. And if you don't have to call me and say, Doug, can you see my files in there? Well, if you can see them, guess what? I have more permissions than you do. So if you can see it, I surely can see it. Let's say that you put it in there and you don't want it. Let's say that you put it in there last night and after thinking about it all night, you want to change it. Well, you can come over here, delete it, and boom, it's gone. And you can resubmit it when you have it done the way that you wish to do it. Any questions on that? Okay. And this one here is on, we have the online scheduled or scheduled online where you're expected to participate. So that's the new modes that we have at ICC. Tutors, I'm not sure. Like I showed you before, you need to go to academic help to see if there's any type of tutors you can get. Okay, any questions over the course information? Somebody saying no or yes or
Yep.
I do have a question.
okay.
Are you going to run this class pretty similar to the Intro to Java class that you?
Uh, let's see. It'll be basically exactly like that.
Gotcha. All right.
Why do you like that or you not like that? Be
Oh
honest.
no, I did like it.
Okay.
I like the once a week type. Same day every week.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's going to be exactly the same then. If you've been in my Java class one day a week, it'll be the same. Or even if we're in one of my 2 days a week, or even it'd be the same as my face-to-face class if you had me before the COVID struck us.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in your intro to Java class last semester, and that was a 2-day format. One of the days, you would typically kind of like show us a video you had on the topic.
Yep.
The next class period would be a demonstration slash lab or whatever. Will our one meeting day today every week be that demonstration day?
Yep. We're going to write a program.
Okay,
Is my plan, and
gotcha.
probably a little bit more than that even. Okay. But yeah, we'll write one program a week. Probably one of the homework assignments. Okay. Just so everybody knows. Okay. So if you come to class, you're already going to have if there's 3 programs to write, you're going to already have one of them done at the end of class, if you can keep up with me, which isn't really very hard. Okay, so that's this one here, course information. Programming info, just like Java, but in a different type of format. We're going to use what I worry about myself is programmer friendliness and user friendliness. As part of the programmer friendliness, every program you write and every class in that, you're going to put this in, okay? The name of the program or project, I don't care which one you call it, the name of the file, which always will end in PY, your name, the date, or you can switch those around, I think, in the other, and then some purpose. And the purpose, again, is not to complete the assignment for 128 or date 128, exercise 5 on page whatever. No, the purpose of the program is what does it do? Okay, what is it supposed to do? So that'll be at the top. If you don't have that, you lose a whole point. So that's a big hit. And try and use this same format. Again, I think in Java I had date above author. You just whichever way you want to do that. Python cheat sheet. I found this thing. Let me see here. Okay. Is this the one I wanted? This is not what I wanted, I don't think. I might pull this out of here because this is not what I had. And I don't care about all that. Where's the cheat sheet? That is not the cheat sheet. You would think you would get what you had asked for, because that is not, I don't want to take a class. No, that's not it. There was a cheat sheet of, so we're going to turn that off until I can find it, the one I want. It just had some good hints. And all of a sudden it's gone. So we'll get rid of that for now.
Hey Doug, I did have another question. You wanted us to, like, for Windows, you recommended the Windows 64-bit.
Yeah. Yeah, if your computer will handle it.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, just make sure your CPU is compatible.
Yeah, that's the, if you've got a Core 5 or a Core 3 even, it's probably going to be a 64. It's just if you're running an old junker of some type, it probably won't. All right, so naming conventions. Again, we're going to do meaningful names, okay, that are programmer friendly. So no single letter. I know, again, you're going to go to your book and they're going to use single letters, and your brother's a professional programmer and he uses X, Y, and Z all the time and da, 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 da. For this class, our convention for the class will not to be to use them. In other words, the test would be as if I walked out here on the street and walked up to somebody and said, "How is your A?" And they didn't punch me in the face because they read into it. If they didn't know what A meant, then it's not a good name. Okay. And it doesn't take that much more. Choose readability over brevity. Okay. I do allow abbreviations as long as they mean some, they're acceptable conventions. SSN, DOB for date of birth, miles per hour, CUFT for cubic feet, SQFT for square feet, MPG, miles per gallon, just don't make up your own that, again, if you ask somebody on the street what it means and they don't know, then it's probably not a good abbreviation. This thing here, I'm going to try this. If you click on that, you go over here and it shows this convention for variable naming for Python, and they call it snake case. Okay. And this is what it looks like. All lowercase, does not begin with special characters. Well, you know that. And can if it contains, they're separated by an underscore. Okay. And then they start private variables, ones that are in a procedure, with an underscore. Ones that they make public, they do not put an underscore. Okay. So that's interesting, I thought. So you can use that or not. I don't care. Interesting though. There was another one, constant naming. This is basically if you're used to Java or whatever, same scenario. Okay. Uppercase and then just the value that's being assigned. And then what I'd also say is I only want them one line per. In other words, don't define a variable or a bunch of them on the same line. Define them one per line, okay? I did use camel hump here instead of an underscore. And again, if you like camel hump, I would be pleased as punch for you to use that. Oh, here they're defining two variables and of giving them their values. Don't do that. Do it this way. Okay, I like that. Magic numbers and constants. The reason, yeah, we're going to use constants when we need to. And again, I'm not going to be critical of something like if I asked you to give me the perimeter of a rectangle and you said it's length times width times 2. And let's say you didn't make the 2 a constant, chances are I'm not going to go postal on you. Okay. That, it just doesn't, that's not worth it. Okay. But some of the other ones should be. Pi should be a constant, 3.14159 or at least 3.14, that kind of thing. Formatting your stuff. We're not going to worry too much about it right out of the box, but this is how you do it. Okay. We did some multiplication here or raised to the power of 2, which is, if you remember, raising in Java was a pain. You had to use POW, the math.pow. Python has this. They also have that, but this is 2 asterisks in a row is raised to the power of 2 of. So it's this value here, and then 2 asterisks, and whatever you want to raise it to is the second one. So of course this is 100 here, 10 times 10.
Say that convention was in other languages as well.
I know in, let's see, what other ones can I think of?
Not Java, right? Because
no, not Java. Java doesn't have that.
I was going to say, I wish I had known that.
Yeah, no, doesn't work. Visual Basic uses a caret, I believe. An up,
right, typical like math notation.
Yeah, yeah. And so yeah, but Java doesn't. For printing later on, as we get moving along, these are your escape characters. In other words, if you want a slash, if you want a tab, you want a new line. If you want to have to print a single quote and you don't want it to be end your character or something, if you have to print a double quote, if you need to print a slash, it's slash slash. We're going to mostly look at procedural programming, at least out of the box. So we're going to start with sequential, then selection decision coming up, and then repetition and iteration. Math operators, here they are, and also your logical operators and your equivalents and relational, I'm sorry, math, relational, and logical in order on how they're assessed. Okay. You're probably familiar with most, well, some of you won't be. So this is not equal to here, bang with an equal sign, an exclamation point with an equal sign. This is modulus here. Okay, anybody not know what modulus means? Speak up. Okay. Again, it just means what is the remainder? So if I had 10 with a percent sign and then 3, the answer would be what? 10 modulus 3 would be what? Oh, come on, somebody, you said you knew it.
It's 1.
It's 1, yeah. It's what, if you did long division, 3 goes into 10, how many times? 3 times. Whatever the remainder is, that's what that means. Give me the remainder of a division problem is what that means. And it comes in really handy. I just gave you this last one down here. If you go to a command prompt, I think mine will work here. Yeah, give me the prompt. Can you guys see that? Hello?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yep.
All right. You guys somebody's gotta breathe every once in a while. And then do modules. Oh, come on. Oh, I put help. Why did I? Well, that's what it says. Help. Oh, I think I need to go to Python first. See if it'll kick me there. There it goes. Now help. And these are all the modules that are installed out of the box. Okay. Now, are there other modules? Yes, there are. There's lots of them that you can plug in. Okay. You should be fine with these. I mean, we're not even going to cover these. Okay. But just so you know, there's a bunch that are installed by default. I forget what this is. Is it Quitches? Let's quit. Okay. Any other questions on the programming info? All right, ePortfolios, you should have one. Go in there and tell me if you don't have one, speak up. I think I tried to catch everybody. Apparently. All right, so this is where you're going to, again, this is where you're going to put your stuff. I showed you how to do that already. Send email. You can send email to anybody in this class you want. If I click this one, I go, hey, we're going to have a party. We're going to invite everybody and Doug right here. This one right here. Hey, we're going to have a party. Don't invite Doug. Hey, let's prank Doug and just invite him to a party and he'll be the only one there, is this one. And then this one here is you can select who in the class you want to go to a party with. And so you can contact anybody. And again, the advantage is if you can't get a hold of me and you need help and you know somebody in the class, again, the game you're playing is the more people you know in the class, your chances go up on being successful. I'll just tell you that over all my years of doing this, um, you know, people that I've had people that form study groups and all kinds of things over the years. So, um, again, do your own work, but there's nothing wrong with getting some help if you need it. Discussion board. The only one I know of that you got is your biography. And again, it's a biography. You go in, you post yours. Okay. So here's Ben's. So he did that part. Now I go read Ben's, blah, 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 blah. And I want to reply to Ben. Okay. And you might type, oh, Ben wants a transfer, plays golf. I used to play golf, but they banned me for being too bad at it. Okay. And then you submit it. So I did my own bio, then I come and do Ben's, and then I go back out again. And maybe I want to go over here to Dave's. And so here's Dave's here, blah, blah, blah. And you can see that Ben had replied to Dave. So if that was me replying, that would be my 2 replies to get my 10 points. So you get 10 points. And it's a it's a point game. So anytime I give you extra credit or an ability to go do something and get some points, you want to do that, believe me. So you post your main biography and you do 2 replies, and that gives you your 10 points. Again, and really don't put I agree, me too, you know, at least something like this, 2 sentences, too long or 3 long sentences is sufficient for your replies. Help, I don't even know what's underneath there. Blah, blah, blah. This is not going to be right. It might be. Hang on. You can also appointments. Okay. Sounds good. You can't get a hold of me though. So I'm going to edit that out. So you can call locations on campus. You can confirm campus is open, right? Computer helpline. The computer helpline can only help you if you can't get in the Blackboard for some reason, or you try to get there and you can't get there. They're not going to help you fix your computer. Let's put it that way. Legal to get a hold of our office. That's probably still good. Counseling, that's probably still good also. B, it's this. Okay. And then office hours, of course, those are wrong.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah,
For the text editor that we use with Python,
yeah,
I'm using Visual Studio in another one of my classes right now. So
yeah.
you think it would make more sense just to use it for this one too?
You can. Just make sure that, again, that all it is plain text and .py. Yeah, they make a module, a plugin for Visual Studio. I just think it's big. You know what I'm saying? And believe me, I've programmed in Visual Basic for years. I think Thawny, I think if you try it, you might like it. And we're going to go use it here in a minute.
Okay.
Because all it is an exe. You can put it right up on your desktop. You don't even have to install it.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Okay.
I found it was really convenient because like I tried to do Eclipse, and
Yeah.
it wouldn't even work. I couldn't get it to work. It had a
Yeah.
glitch right off the bat that I had to like research, and then it was just too much trouble. So Thawny
Yeah.
worked well.
Thawny, I just think it's light. And for what we're doing, I think it works. All right. So that's basically the housekeeping stuff. All right. So let's go take a look at lesson 1 here. It's due next Thursday at midnight. And I gave you're supposed to read this stuff. This introduction to computers again. It's just, this is a computer and here's some PowerPoints that they provide. Okay. Then these are the programs you need to write. This one here is distance traveled. And then there's create a program that converts the user amount from Celsius to Fahrenheit. And then create a program that calculates the number of grapevines. And these are in chapter 1 or whatever chapter. Is it chapter 1? Chapter 2, probably. Yeah. At the end of the chapter. Okay. Then you need your biography. And then there's just this short 11-point stupid thing on where I test you that you reviewed the stuff with me like tonight. And there are questions like, what is usually the best way to get a hold of me? Oh, that would be email. And then what program is installed with Python as the default editor? Well, that would be that one. The due date is Thursday. Know what I mean? This is how easy it is. To receive a reply to an email, you need to put your real name and the class you're in. Yes. Federal guidelines state that each credit hour in class require all the above. To get an A, I need a 93. Completed programs must be placed in your e-portfolio. Grade percentage for class participation is 10. Knowledge leveling means skills that has been covered in the course. Should be nice English, Doug. Covered in the course to solve assignments. That's probably the right one there. Programming help is available from all the above. That's called the state answer. And then this is just you agree, true or false, that you have access to the textbook. You know what Python is. You're going to spend the amount of time you're going to read the stuff. You've looked at the ICC policies. You're going to treat all students and faculty with respect. And you have a desire to learn. You click on true and you save and submit. Hit OK. And you should get 11 points. That's it. So it's real rough. If you miss any, you have to take it until you get it 11 out of 11 is what I'm looking for. Okay. So that shouldn't kill you. So any questions on that? All right. So let's do one of these. Let's see. Here's a program from This, I don't like that one. Oh, what I wanted to tell you though is, let's say you're going to do this program here, the Celsius to Fahrenheit. Make sure you know what you're doing. Okay. If you don't, go Celsius to Fahrenheit. You go over here. Why is that on? I don't want it on. Oh, I clicked on it. That's why, Doug. And you come over here, and if you put in 0 for Celsius and you don't get 32 for an answer, something's wrong. The one I usually check it like this. I usually say minus 40, and minus 40 Celsius is the same as minus 40 Fahrenheit. It's the only point they're the same. And that's how I usually check on that question. But you should always have some answer that you can verify after you do your program that you know it's right. Okay. That your outcome is right. All right. All right. So I was going to go. So I have Thorny here somewhere. So here's Thorny over here. I click on it, or double click, I guess. Oops. There's the answer to our question there. There we go. All right. So this is what it looks like. This simple. Not very hard at all. Okay, this is my main. I need to move this out of the way here. Maybe I'll move it down here. I don't know if that's good or not. Move this over here. So this is what it looks like. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is what? We're going to put in some information to make it user friendly, right? So I can use that, or I think it's, what is it, a double quote? Can't remember if that's right or not. And something like that. And I'm going to save it as trip. And I'll make it driving. I don't know if that's, I thought that double quote thing worked. File. I had author first, didn't I? Date format, I could care less. Which one you want to use? Distance, and let's see, miles per gallon. That's all I need, right? Distance. Oh, and I don't know if that's, I had that in there and I don't know that I like it. If it's gonna,
I think you have used 3 quotes for a comment block.
is it? Yeah, you're right, I think. It's 3 singles, isn't it? Stop. That's much better. I can't read my own writing these days. All right, there we go. I think that's okay now. So I'm going to save this somewhere. My desktop, let's say. And I'm just going to make it driving .py. And you see down here, it didn't come up with any errors. So I think it's pretty good. Okay. I think it's pretty good. Let's see if we can do any damage here. So in Python, we use a lot of indents. Okay. Unlike the other Java in that, even though we like to indent it so it looks nice and for readability, here indentation actually does something. If you put something, if you want something inside, I mean, early on here, if we just do sequential, it's not a big thing. But once we get to like if statements and decision making and repetition, and we want something to run correctly, it has to be inside the loop. And by that, we mean it has to be indented inside the loop. And some of your IDEs will even, if you have a tab that's only, it's 3 spaces and you make it 4 spaces, it's going to throw an error. So it's really important that we indent correctly. This one I'm not going to worry too much about. Let's see here. So a simple printing out a literal, okay? And there's no semicolon at the end either. This should run, I believe. There you go. Okay. So unlike Java, we don't put any in just our plain print statements. Okay. And then we can say, let's see here. How do I want this? One of the reasons people use Python is because it's pretty simplistic to the point where, unlike other languages, it will assume that your data type is what it is based on what you try to put in it. Okay. So a lot of times I don't even have to declare what I'm putting in. Just depends on how you do it if you want to declare it. Okay. And you'll read about this in chapter 2. Right. And again, I'm not always great at this. Let's see. Let's go here. And I'm just going to say my first variable name is going to be trip. And I'm going to make it an integer and input. Nice prompt with a space there. And then let's see if it'll print trip here. Oops. I might have to. So how far are you driving? And I put in 100 and it prints out 100. Okay. So how far are we driving? What else did I say I needed? The MPG, right? And that's a valid because most people would know if you're talking about a car and you ask, what is the MPG of your car? Uh, most people would know that to be a fact. And again, most people do not say, well, some people might say, I get 20.2 miles per gallon. Usually it's a round number, so we'll do that. And you can make it highway rating or that. And then, so that's good. And then we need the price per gallon, right? And here we just use float. And let's see here. Or you can have that, you can have that, you're going to have that. So that looks okay. So then if we do, let me think here.
So do the first two, like the trip and the miles per gallon, do those have to be integer inputs then?
They don't have to be, but when you say, hey, how far are you going to drive to Wisconsin? Do you say, oh, that's 181.5 miles?
No.
Not usually. Same thing with the miles per gallon. Hey, what's the mileage on that car you own? Well, I own a Viper and I get 8 miles to the gallon, right? I
Mhm.
don't say I get 8.75 miles per gallon.
So
Yeah.
if you put in a non-integer for the trip, would it not work then? Because you put
Yeah,
integer? Okay.
Yeah, because it's not float,
yeah,
right?
But
right.
if we're doing our own program, can we just use float for pretty much anything then? Well,
Oh,
not any-
come on. I'm cutting you some slack just by letting you just use those.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay. Again, use common sense. Again, it has to do with storage, right? It's the difference of if I make something Boolean, it's 1 bit. Okay. If I make something a float, usually it's 32 or 64 bits. So if I'm looking at economics, and again, in these small programs, it doesn't really matter. Okay. It really doesn't. Let me just show you something real quick. Let's say that I was going to say value 1. And I can just say value 1 is, oh, now brown cow. Print. Oh, I'm going to have all that at the top print, but it don't matter. Okay. And let's see here. I think I can do this if I remember right. Comment. There we go. So now if I run this, it says how now brown cow. And if I do
Do we need to, in this IDE, do we need to like manually terminate processes?
no,
Okay.
not right now anyway. Okay.
Is there an undo button in this IDE, by the way? I didn't see one. I was wondering. Oh, got it. A control Z.
Yeah, which is kind of a standard. So then if I come down here and print val2, oops. There you go. And
what-
I could do print or it doesn't care. Okay. I can say val 3 is equal to val 2.
You want to print val 3?
Oops, sorry. So it knows. Implicitly, it will work implicitly. It's up to you. Do you need it to work explicitly? Do you want to control it like I did up here? Okay. Or do you want to let it do it? And that's where you get into, is that a questionable practice? And is it user friendly or programmer friendly is what I was going to say. So then I can uncomment that. Okay.
Is that just a different form of commenting, the pound sign?
Yeah, this is a block. Okay.
And that was a single line. Got
These
it.
are single lines. Yep. So now I can come down here and just do cost will be equal to trip and trip divided by MPG times price, right? And then I can do print. Print the cost of your trip will, come on, Doug, will be and then that, and then that, and then let's see, what is it? It's, I think I can do, damn it, what is it again? Is it cost? No, hang on one second here. Let's, where was that one? I had one. That's not the one I want. That's not it. There it is. So it is a, and then there. So it's format. That's what I wanted. Okay. So then I can come here and put format cost, comma 0.2F. I think it is. Is it a single quote around that? Hello. All of a sudden I can't type. Yep. All right. So da 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 da. Let's see if it works. Ooh, that's not good. Cost your triple B, da da da. Expected EOF while parsing. Oh, I'm missing a parentheses here. Oh, that's what it looks like when it's bad, just so you know. There we go. So how far are you driving? 200 miles. The MPG of my car is 20 miles to the gallon. That means I should need 10 gallons. And the average price of gas today, let's say, is $2. So the cost will be $20. So yeah, 10 times 2, right? Hello?
Yep.
So there's a basic program right there. And that only leaves you those other two. So if you followed that, you're good. And you'll only have 2 programs. Now, again, do me a favor, read the chapter, practice. You can create your own programs. There's other examples in the book. So you get familiar with using this over and over and over again. Again, repetition early on, rote learning. It is what it is. You got to learn how to walk before you can run. So these first couple programs I'm giving you, oh, look at this. The code in driving pi looks good. Isn't that nice? Any questions on this? I could tell you that and the guys that have taken Java from me, we didn't get this far in the first class. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems very like, down and more straightforward. So
It is. Again, it's one of the. But here's the thing about Python. It's one of the easiest programming languages to learn because it's very forgiving. Okay, but it can do some of the most powerful. They use it in if you keep going. They use it in analytics and stuff. There's 2 languages. Like if you're gonna do work in computer science, in computer engineering, and you're looking and you're looking for patterns and stuff like that. Okay, and analytics, system analytics, or that is really big in the world. I mean, I worked on it for a year at Bradley, and you know, you get out of there, and if you have a degree in that, but there's 2 languages that are the main drivers of that. One is Python, and the other one is R. It's called R. And most of the software to do that kind of stuff, you get a choice. Do you want to write your stuff in R, or do you want to write it in Python? And it doesn't matter which one of the 2 you write it in. And then you feed data into your program, and it has models, and you create a model, and you take out, you know, you run them 1,000 things through there, and you pull out like 10 of them, or not 100 of them, and you run it through your system, and then the other part goes through the other way, and you see then the system compares them to see if there's any type of pattern. Anyway, the 2 languages that are used usually to do that are Python and R. The difference is that Microsoft owns R, okay, where Python is open source for anybody to use for free. Okay. So it's one of the easiest to learn, but it's one of the most powerful when it comes to doing certain things. Okay. And in reality, it's almost 5:30, and I basically don't have anything else for you tonight. So I'm going to stop sharing here, kick us back over here. And you guys, I'm going to stop the recording.